Welcome, fellow YouTube traveler. I'm Baronen, and I'm on a mission to learn art. For this video, I've done an exercise to try to improve my creature design skills. And this exercise is something that I came up with myself. I'm probably not the first one to do this, but this is what I'm doing right now to try to improve my skills. And the basis of this exercise is to try to recreate something from reference as closely as possible, and that is what I'm trying to do right here. And for the reference, as you can see, there is a crocodile, so that's what I'm trying to recreate. So I'm going back and forth a lot here to try to move the features into the right place and make them the right sizes. And that is the base of this exercise. And moving on from this one, I'm going to try to exaggerate different features to make more interesting creature designs. So with the first one done, I move on to the second one. And for this one, I try to make it as long as possible. So as you can see, I made this nice long baguette for the snout. And yeah, when I stretch out the snout, I also have to stretch out the curves of the mouth, for example, to make them longer. And I sort of like this design. It looks a little bit funny, I think. It doesn't look really that menacing as the first one, but yeah, I sort of like it. And on to the third one. For this one, I really tried to exaggerate all the curves. So for example, the curves of the mouth, I tried to exaggerate them a lot to make it look sort of like a roller coaster. And because I did this, it resulted in sort of a cartoony or stylized look that it's not really what I'm going after. I'm trying to move more towards a realistic or grimdark style, but it's something that I can use when I want to move more towards stylized, I think. And here, for the fourth one, I try to make it look as large and wide as possible. So firstly, I tried to widen the mouth, and then I also made the eyes really small to contrast the largeness, the wideness of this crocodile. And yeah, those four were the first ones that I did, and with those done, I wanted to make a combination of all four, or a combination of the three. So I made it a bit longer, and then I also tried to exaggerate the curves a little bit more, and then I also stole the shin from the wide one. And with these things, I think I came up with quite an interesting design that is a little bit stylized and yeah. But I think it makes for a sort of an interesting look when you combine all of these things. With those done, I wanted to move on to a sketch that I did based on these designs. And Right now I'm working on a world building project called Outram, where there are a lot of dragons. Everyone wears their soul on the outside of their body in the shape of a dragon. And therefore I paint and draw a lot of dragons right now. And that is my main drive to create art. And that's why I paint this dragon. Going into this, I didn't really have a plan, except that I wanted to base it on the designs that I did, and that I wanted to start with some line art. But now, when I'm done with it, I've decided that it is an orc dragon, because I think it just looks sort of aggressive and menacing. So I really like the idea of this being a dragon, or an orc dragon that belongs to the orcs. And yeah, I just think it looks really hungry. This whole thing, this whole exercise took me about 1.5 hours, and recently I've been working with sort of shorter time spans, because partly because I feel like I have a lot less time right now, because I have a lot of work, and partly is because I think it is fun to create a lot during a short time, and not dwell on anything. So it's fun to just do a lot of sketches, I think. And with the line art done, I move on to the shading. So I just filled it in with a lighter value and then blocked in the shadow family, and then put in some bounce light and some highlights. And moving on from that, I use my trusty smudge brush that I use in almost all of my illustrations nowadays. I really like it because I think it is nice to use for gradients to make them not as smooth, and it's nice to make gradients that are to make them smooth, and I can also create a lot of fun textures with it. So I just feel like I have a lot of control when I use it, and that's something I really like with this brush. And I think it is just a base brush from Krita that I use. And now what you see is me trying out some different brushes to create some different textures, because I wanted to really dirty this thing up to make it look a little bit dirtier. And the last thing I did here was to paint a background quickly, and that's the image done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this style of content where I do an exercise, and I hope you enjoyed me just talking over it. I usually don't do this, but it's something that I want to try out more in the future. So I hope you like that as well. If you did, consider giving it a like and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. With that said, I want to thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay,